Are you a screen actor? Then you're in the right place. I made this video for you to help you grow, to succeed, and dream big as an actor. We're going to be talking about one thing today, one subject, and we're going to focus on one important part of that subject. The subject is self-taping. It's hot right now. It's in demand. It's becoming hotter, and it is definitely here to stay. So why not become a self-taping master? Because you can. It's easy. It is not rocket science. We can talk about the gear. Is it better to use a smartphone or a camera? Does it matter? Should you use a mic? No mic? What kind of lighting is best? What's the best kind of space to shoot in? These are all important things, but the one thing that I don't see stressed enough is your actual performance when you're self-taping. Specifically, how do you direct yourself, or how do you ace an audition without any outside direction? A lot of actors are intimidated by that. They feel kind of lost if they don't have a casting director guiding them, giving them adjustments, or a director in the room. I get that. But once you give up that dependency and you stand on your own 2 feet, yeah, it's uncomfortable at first, but suddenly you'll discover a new freedom, a new power, and you'll start to do what you're supposed to do in an audition. Make bold choices and commit to them. Too many actors, when they're in the room, are thinking thoughts like, what's my next line? Why don't I have the whole script? What do they want from me? Is this choice going to be the right one? On and on and on. Like this guy. When what you should be doing is don't have thoughts on your mind. Be a blank slate. Be open, ready to listen, receive, react, and play so that you can show up like this actress in total confidence. I want you to remember this, that what the casting director, the director, and the producer want is to see a confident actor who understands the camera, who's at home with the camera, and who knows how to listen, react, and just have a conversation that makes those lines the actor's very own. Yeah, and that is easier than you think. When I used to teach acting years ago, I used to emphasize a lot of the important theory. You know, like the stuff about working a lot on your character bio, on your backstory, on all sorts of extraneous things that only really put you in your head. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but for the audition itself, when you really get that the lines are secondary, they really are, you'll stop chasing them. Most actors are chasing the lines. They're a slave to the lines. They're like the person you saw in the first image, where they're the puppet and the puppet master is the script. Get over that. When you make bold choices, and you'll get to understand by watching yourself over and over again in the different takes that you do, you'll get to understand more and more how the lines only communicate what you say, but your reactions communicate what you mean. You sell the line by the things that you do between the lines, the reactions that you have before and after you speak. With that in mind, all you really need to do is to show up. Have made a choice about what your intention is. Simple, strong intention, and then forget about it. If my intention is, in this scene, I'm going to put a subordinate in his or her place, then I know what I have to do. How I'm going to do it, I'm going to discover by listening to the lines and seeing what the other person is doing to me and saying to me. I can just trust and go on that journey with freedom. This is the formula I want you to remember. Everything you need is on the page. You don't need a whole script. Not for an audition. For the audition, all you need are the words on the page, and your job is to feel them, say them, and mean them. This may be a secret, but you are every character that you're ever going to play. How? Because all human beings only have a certain number of human needs. Not 10,000, there's about 6 or 7. If you haven't ever read about Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins is, I think he lists 6 basic human needs. Look them up. Because once you know what they are, for any scene that you're doing, all you need to ask yourself is, what's the predominant need that's driving this particular character? Is it a need for significance? Is it a need for contribution? Is it a need for love? Which one is at the forefront that's driving the actions of this character? And then you will be able to find some time in your life and some incident in your life that triggered that same need. That's all you have to do. If I'm playing a vicious serial killer and I, for my audition, do an extensive bio on what makes the serial killer tick, the bottom line is I am not a serial killer, and I can never really be that person. But I can understand if that serial killer murders somebody because they feel terribly humiliated. They've been made to feel in their minds that they are very small, and that person made them feel that. Whether it's true or not, that's what they believe. All I have to do is ask myself, has there ever been a moment in my life when I felt humiliated? When I felt small? Sure. Get in touch with that feeling. When I feel it, then I say the words, then I will mean those words. And then the character comes to me. I don't chase the character. So, I've been telling you some interesting things, but acting is more about showing than telling. So now I'm going to show you an actor who's actually doing exactly what I'm talking about to you right now. The actor's name is Ron Lee. It's L-E-A. He has 205 on-screen credits. He has been a series regular in more than one series. He's worked with people like Gary Oldman, Kevin Costner, the late Rod Steiger, and many others. We worked on this for my course, and I directed him in a scene, a real audition scene, and I gave him 7 different adjustments. He did it 7 different ways. Now, you're going to see 2 of them here. And one of the things I really want you to pay attention to is what's holding your attention? What makes his performance compelling? So, now be entertained, captivated, and expand your awareness about acting watching Mr. Ron Lee. How much are we looking at?
$3 million.
3 million. You want to write off 3 million?
That's my advice, yes.
3 million down the toilet.
Compared to what we're about to pull off in Italy, it's peanuts. I advise against being too greedy.
What the hell is wrong with greed? Let me give you advice, okay, Ricardo? That deal in Italy, that's speculation. $3 million, that's money in the bank. You respect that. How much we're looking at?
$3 million.
3 million. You want to write off $3 million.
That's my advice, yeah.
3 million, hey, down the toilet.
Hey, compared to what we're about to pull off in Italy, hey, this is peanuts. I advise you against being too greedy.
What the hell is wrong with greed? Let me give you some advice, okay, Ricky? Oh. That deal in Italy, that's just speculation. $3 million in the bank. That's something you should respect, huh? Oh, Ricky. The short clip that you just watched, I believe it's less than 2 minutes. And it can change your life. It can definitely change your work. Study it. Go back and watch it again. Ron Lee is compelling because he understands the camera. Notice how relaxed he is. He's not concerned about jumping to his next line because it's what he does when he's not speaking that makes what he says next totally his and believable. So if that's the case, he's the master of the lines do not control him. You start bringing that to your auditions. Also, I gave you these two very contrasting ways of doing the scene because I want you to think about this. Which one is right? They're both right because they're both strong. They're both bold choices. He doesn't hesitate. He commits 100% to them. He didn't even know beforehand what or how he was going to play it until I told him, and then he just went for it. Didn't allow himself to go into his head to think about it because that would have made it unnatural. That's the beauty of it and the freedom. Notice that in the second take, he did change the lines a bit. Now, I'm not going to encourage you to do that. However, if you're really in the moment and it feels appropriate, go for it. Play it back. After all, it is a self-tape. Play it back and then say, does that work in the scene? And if you want to be cautious, why don't you just send that in as an additional take with your audition. You'll never be punished for taking that kind of liberty if you execute it well and make it work. In fact, what can happen sometimes is that a director looks at the scene and goes, wow, I never really thought of it that way. I like this actor. Let's bring him or her in to find out more. So, remember, feel it, say it, mean it. If you're enjoying this, if you're getting something from it, in the comments below, put these words, Screen Acting Master, and subscribe to the channel. Also, you'll find a link in the description, and that link will take you to a site where you can learn about my entire course on self-taping. Find out what it has to offer. Really, really apply this, and I would love to know what you're getting from it. And until the next video, feel it, mean it. No! Until the next video, feel it, say it, mean it, book it.